He was denied a meal for not looking first class. They didn't know he owned the airline. He boarded the plane in a sharp blue suit, white shirt, and matching tie, every bit the image of class. But when the flight attendant skipped him during meal service and said, "You don't look first class," she had no idea he owned the entire airline. What happened after landing? The whole crew was escorted off the plane, and the internet lit up with one name, the man they tried to ignore. Please support us by subscribe, like, and share for more, with activating the notification bell. Thank you. He walked onto the plane with a quiet confidence, tailored blue suit, crisp white shirt, and a navy blue tie that gave him a distinguished air. Nothing flashy, just sharp, professional, elegant. But his skin was dark, and that was the first thing people saw. He carried no flashy briefcase, no assistant trailing behind, just a leather-bound notebook tucked under his arm and a calm expression that didn't beg for attention. "Ticket, sir?" asked the flight attendant as he approached the first-class cabin. He smiled, handing it over. "Seat 2A. She looked at the ticket, then at him. Her smile thinned. "One moment, please." She stepped aside and whispered something to another crew member. They both glanced back at him and exchanged looks. A nearby passenger, lounging with a cocktail, muttered, "Probably." Wandered up from economy. He heard it, but didn't respond. He took his seat in 2A, placed his notebook in the seat pocket, and quietly stared out the window. He was used to being underestimated. In fact, he counted on it. Because what no one knew, not the passengers, not the crew, was that this man owned the airline. The plane took off smoothly, climbing into the clouds. The first-class cabin was half full, comfortable, luxurious. Warm towels and champagne were passed around, except to seat 2A. The man in the blue suit sat patiently, glancing at the menu others were handed. He hadn't received one. The flight attendant returned to his row, but skipped him again as she handed out meal trays. He cleared his throat politely. "Excuse me, I believe I haven't received a menu or meal." She turned, blinking. "Oh, meals in this section are reserved for confirmed first-class passengers." He blinked, surprised. "I am confirmed," she pursed her lips. "Are you sure you're not meant to be in business class? It's happened before." "I'm certain," he said calmly, gesturing to the seat number overhead. Still doubtful, she offered a curt nod. "I'll double-check." A businessman nearby chuckled. "Should have worn something fancier." He smiled wryly. The irony was too rich. He'd worn the suit to avoid this exact situation, but discrimination didn't care what you wore. It saw only what it wanted to see. About an hour into the flight, the captain exited the cockpit and made his usual round through first class, greeting passengers, thanking them, shaking hands. He stopped short when he reached seat 2A. "Oh. Wow. Sir, The captain's voice caught slightly. The man looked up with the faintest of smirks. "Hello, Captain." The flight attendant, confused, stepped forward. "Captain, he's in a seat he may not be entitled to. He hasn't received a meal because—" The captain held up a hand, eyes wide. "Do you know who this is?" She looked confused. "A passenger who's caused quite a bit of delay." The captain bent forward slightly and whispered something in her ear. Her eyes widened instantly. Her face went pale. He was not just a passenger. He was the owner, the chairman of the board, the silent partner no one ever expected to meet face to face at 36,000 feet. She turned back to him, trembling slightly. "Mr. Johnson, I am so sorry for the mix-up. Please allow me to personally bring your meal." He gave a slight nod, then slowly pulled out his phone and began to record, not to shame, but to document. Because this moment wasn't about revenge, it was about the truth. When the plane landed at JFK, the man in the blue suit didn't rush to gather his belongings. He sat calmly as the captain waited nervously by the exit. 3 uniformed supervisors stood at the gate holding tablets. When they saw him emerge, they almost panicked. "Mr. Johnson, we weren't informed of your travel today." One stammered. "That was the point," he replied, handing over his phone. "You should see this." The lead supervisor watched the clip of the flight attendant's dismissive tone, the accusations, the skipping of his meal. Her expression hardened. Consider this crew relieved of duty pending investigation. The flight attendant appeared behind them, still unaware. Excuse me, can someone tell me what's going on? Ma'am, the supervisor interrupted. You've been removed from all flight schedules effective immediately. Her jaw dropped. Wait, what? Why? Mr. Johnson turned slightly and gave her the same calm look he'd worn the entire flight. You told me I didn't look like I belonged in first class, but I own every seat in that cabin. And with that, he walked away. Shoulders square, tie, perfectly in place, notebook under his arm. By the next morning, the story had gone viral. Black CEO denied first-class meal. Crew shocked when they learn he owns the airline. Boardroom to boarding pass, airline owner tests his own staff and finds the truth. Photos of the man in the blue suit circulated online. His calm expression, his quiet authority, his refusal to shout or boast. The internet dubbed him the man they couldn't ignore. The airline issued an official apology and announced sweeping changes, mandatory inclusion and empathy training for all flight staff, a direct report program allowing anonymous passengers to review crew treatment, scholarship programs launched for aspiring black pilots and aviation professionals. Mr. Johnson didn't issue a flashy press release. Just one short message. How you treat someone when you think they're nobody reveals who you really are. He continued to travel, still wore the blue suit, still carried the notebook, still preferred to see things as they really were, not how people performed when they knew who he was. Every now and then, a crew member would glance at him nervously and ask, "Is that him?" And somewhere in the sky, a quiet man in a blue tie would smile and keep walking.